Professor Abraham Kilore Kindiki, a man that is grappling with changes within the circles of power around President William Ruto after Raila Odinga came in through the back door to take over William Ruto's trust and to take over all the benefit that comes with him signing an MOU with President William Ruto. As we speak, a letter written by Professor KITHURE Kindiki to President William Ruto is becoming a bone of contention to the people of the Mount Kenya region and the whole country at large. As of today, President William Ruto met with a few members of parliament from the Mount Kenya region who are his supporters, together with those that also think that William Ruto should not continue having these discussions and giving, or donating more power to Raila Odinga. And I quote him today. He said, constant consultations with elected leaders provides the best platform for deliberation on and consequently implementing transformative development programs that benefit citizens of our country. On this front, we are truly on course on programs anchored under the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. With Deputy President KITHURE Kindiki met MPs from the Mount Kenya counties, Statehouse, Nairobi, we discussed the progress we're making in coffee, tea, and dairy farming infrastructure development, affordable housing, and fresh produce markets, among others. Now, this meeting that President William Ruto called today at the Statehouse, which was attended by a few members of parliament from the Mount Kenya region. This meeting was an answer of President William Ruto to Professor Abraham KITHURE Kindiki, after it is believed that Professor Abraham KITHURE Kindiki made his grievances known to his boss, President William Ruto, after recently being labeled a man with no influence and a man that just carries the title but no power when it comes to the office of the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. Now listen, where does the problem with KITHURE Kindiki and Raila Odinga comes in? As we speak, Raila Odinga is expected to be given about 5 to 7 cabinet slots in the current cabinet of President William Ruto, knowing that he currently has about 5 of them, which means Raila Odinga will control over half of the current cabinet. Now, what does that mean to Professor Abraham KITHURE Kindiki? It means that he will not have influence or a say in the current cabinet. Let's go back. About 2 or 3 days ago, President William Ruto welcomed the Netherlands King and Queen, the royal family of Netherlands in the country. In that meeting, there was a state dinner held at the Statehouse, Nairobi. And that is where Professor KITHURE Kindiki was forced now to go ahead and write to President William Ruto and make him know what he really wants. Now listen, in the said meeting, Raila Odinga was invited at the state dinner. Apart from that, the following day, Raila Odinga again was called to the Statehouse. Apart from that, again today, Raila Odinga is said to have been in the Statehouse. Are we together? Now, what does this tell you? Even when KITHURE Kindiki was there at the state dinner where the royal family of Netherlands was at the Statehouse, Nairobi, the man that took the day, the man that took the star of the day and the star of the moment then was Raila Odinga. Pictures depicting a man who had every body language speaking about fear and speaking about dissatisfaction of Raila Odinga being in Statehouse was shown. the picture of KITHURE Kindiki. Apart from that, KITHURE Kindiki now has realized that he will be a very non-factor in this government of President William Ruto in the next 2 years, because Raila Odinga has asked for key cabinet position. And all these key cabinet positions, most of them come from the Mount Kenya region. I will count for you a few. The men that were put to help, through the broad-based government and what have you, the members of parliament, not the members of parliament, the cabinet secretary slots were given to Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta's men. That was William Kabogo, Lee Kinyanjui, and Mutahi Kagwe. Now, these three cabinet slots, Raila Odinga want them handed over to his people, to the ODM party. Apart from that, Raila Odinga also want to be given the cabinet slot of water and sanitation that is held by Eric Mureth Muga, engineer Eric Mureth Muga from Meru. He wants to also be given the cabinet docket of housing, which is currently held by one Alice Wahome, the former member of parliament of Kadara. Now, those are five. Are we together? Now, those are the demands that Raila Odinga has given to William Ruto. These 5 cabinet slots, I want them. Apart from that, also another cabinet slot is that of Justin Muturi, the public service office, will also be added over to Raila Odinga. That amounts to 6, if William Ruto is to agree to all of them. Now, who will KITHURE Kindiki be representing or be fighting for in the Mount Kenya region if we cannot defend these 6 cabinet slots from the Mount Kenya region? Apart from that, there is also another docket, the docket of tourism, held by one Rebecca Miano, also coming from the Mount Kenya region. So Rebecca might also lose that seat. This amounts to 7. If KITHURE Kindiki, you cannot fight for these people, and you are the deputy president, and that is the work that Rigathi Gachagua was axed out of government because of doing, then who do you represent? Do you represent the people of where you come from? Now, those are some of the things that were highlighted by KITHURE Kindiki to President William Ruto when he was seeking an ear from President William Ruto. Apart from that, Raila Odinga will be the Prime Minister through the Prime Cabinet Secretary's office, because he is going to take over that office. And if he takes over that office, then that means Raila Odinga definitely becomes a co-president to William Ruto. And as you have seen recently, even when Raila returned in Kenya after losing the AU, while in Mombasa, KITHURE Kindiki welcomed Raila Odinga, and Raila Odinga welcomed the president. That means that there was a break of protocol and a disregard of KITHURE Kindiki as the second in command of the Republic of Kenya. So, KITHURE Kindiki seems to have definitely handed over his power and his mandate as the deputy president to one Raila Odinga, and stopped defending his people and stopped speaking for his people, because everybody in the government of President William Ruto represents a certain region. That is why William Ruto put them there. Also, governors from the Mount Kenya region have been calling upon KITHURE Kindiki to stand up for them, to stand up for his region. And these governors include the chairperson of the UDA party, that is Cecil Barere, Anne Waiguru, Governor Mutahi Kahiga, Governor Irungu Kang'ata, Governor Kiarie Badilisha, Governor Susan Kihika, Governor Kimani Wamatangi. Are we together? Governor Hirongo of Laikipia. All of these governors, and even we are not speaking about the governor of Meru because she had her own fight. She couldn't get involved in this. So KITHURE Kindiki, these governors told him that if you allow this to happen, then what are you to us? How will we follow you? How will we even invite you in launching project development in our counties if you cannot stand and defend your position and make sure that the mountain and the people from the Mount Kenya region are respected in this government? So KITHURE Kindiki, because he is a man of few words, he couldn't go ahead and face President William Ruto. All he did was write to President William Ruto. Apart from that, there is a disrespect that has currently started within the circles of President William Ruto, where people associated to President William Ruto, like Akina Farouk Kibet, Oscar Sudi, and one Kimani Ichung'wah, have been belittling KITHURE Kindiki within the circles of power. So KITHURE Kindiki was asking the president, did you give me the mandate of becoming a president so that I might become a shadow of myself? No, I was serving very well as the cabinet secretary of interior, and I delivered on my part, and that is why you chose me. So why should you forget about me because you have had another wedding with Raila Odinga, your new fiance? Are we together? And KITHURE Kindiki feels cornered. That is true. Now, within these grievances that KITHURE Kindiki has had, one stands out. He asked President William Ruto to intervene in matters of the Mount Kenya region development projects, where he tells him that the state should not discriminate MPs like Didi Nyoro, who are recently working and are recently delivering to their people. The other day, it is believed that KITHURE Kindiki received intel that Farouk Kibet was the person that called the administration in Kiharu after Didi Nyoro previous day did an interview revealing his, uh, I mean, broken relationship with President William Ruto. He called and said that you should not attend the launch of one MP Didi Nyoro. And KITHURE Kindiki, a lot of members of parliament from the Mount Kenya region who believe in what Didi Nyoro has been doing and believe that in the influence of Didi Nyoro around the Mount Kenya region, went ahead to pursue KITHURE Kindiki to intervene on this matter and speak to President William Ruto to make sure that President William Ruto hears the grievances of the people of Mount Kenya region. So, and he tells him to stay back, not to intimidate, so that, I mean, he must lay back. If there is somebody else that they should be dealing with, is Rigathi Gachagua. And if Raila Odinga becomes a factor that KITHURE Kindiki is supposed to deal with, then he will lose the focus and the goal of dealing with Rigathi Gachagua and regaining the Mount Kenya region to William Ruto. Are we together? And that is what, so now you all understand. The man is cornered. He knows that the president is recently preparing for a tour in the Mount Kenya region. And he had to use this opportunity to make the president understand that you don't only need Raila Odinga in the year 2027 to become the president. You also need me. Another thing that KITHURE Kindiki also has against Raila Odinga and President William Ruto is how the president agreed to sign an MOU with Raila Odinga. And in the MOU, it states that KITHURE Kindiki will not be the running mate of President William Ruto come the year 2027. And that definitely tells you that the man feels that he is not in the government that he is serving, and he is not respected the way he wants to be. So President William Ruto has to hold his horses. He has to seek support from the mountain. He has to launch development tour in the Mount Kenya region, and he can't do that without KITHURE Kindiki and KITHURE Kindiki influencing the MPs of the Mount Kenya region, more so the members of parliament from the Mount Kenya East block. Yeah, so Kindiki anasema, Bwana Rais, ukitaka tukue na mwelekeo mwema, don't diminish me. Yeah, don't belittle me. Don't allow Raila Odinga to belittle me, because I am losing my respect as the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, and that is something that I'm not going to take. Yes, if you look at it very clearly, you will realize that the struggles are intensifying. And if what is going to happen is to happen, and the cabinet slots that are held by the Mount Kenya the Mount Kenya cabinet secretaries are handed over to Raila Odinga, then Kindiki will be useless to the Mount Kenya region people, because Rigathi Gachagua will have a loaded gun to point in the face of Kindiki on how he cannot defend the people of the Mount Kenya region. But it is boiling nicely. Things are boiling nicely. It's just a matter of wait and see. The letter of Kindiki to William Ruto is a letter of I need my respect for me to respect Raila Odinga, and for me to also be respected by the people that I serve and represent. So Serpent, that is what is happening. What is your take? Leave a comment on the comment section. See you in our next video. This is the Kenyan Daily Report.